Welcome back to my little kitchen remodeling project. I'm trying to turn the existing kitchen in our cottage into something more usable on a budget, like something with running hot water, dishwasher and other luxuries of the 20th century. In the previous episode I added valves to existing piping so I can control water going into the bathroom and the kitchen independently. The kitchen room is missing a usable hot and cold water connection, as well as decent drain, and that's what I'm going to tackle in this episode. But first, let's admire my high-definition plans explaining the change. Before reconstructing electric wiring, I sort of laid out the positions of cabinets in the kitchen. The plant sink will be on the left, so it is closer to the water heater and the hot water volume in the pipes is minimized. According to my calculations, there will be roughly 1.8 liters of hot water in the pipes between the source and the tap. Not ideal, but I can live with that. Then there's the drain. Water from the bathroom goes to the cesspool. The existing drain in the kitchen goes through the wall and straight on the ground, through a pretty stubborn pipe to remove. So what I will do now is I remove the sink, route new piping with hot and cold water from the cellar, and finally I guide the wastewater from the kitchen to the cesspool. Part of the drain in the kitchen will be recessed in the wall, however, part going through the little vestibule next to the entrance door will be exposed. As I told you last time, almost all of the walls are stone made, only the one in the kitchen is made out of bricks. It took me 2 weekends to conquer the medieval beast, so a lot of section in this episode will be on fast forward. We start by looking at the cellar entrance door from the inside. I will make a hole next to the door hinge to route water pipes through and get to the hallway. I hope these are not structural. Once the hole is done, I continue chasing a groove for pipes in the wall. I tried to salvage some of the tiles, but it was unsuccessful. The glue was holding tiles in place and most of them got destroyed. I will have to find the substitutes in shops. Shouldn't be difficult, this is standard 15 by 15 centimeters. I just have to match the color. Next goes the floor. I will cut a groove in the concrete with a 230mm angle grinder, but first I have to remove some of the tiles. I use this dust cover which you can hook up to a vacuum cleaner. It is Makita brand for my Makita angle grinder, but it has standard 3-point color which can be used for any other mark. Fun fact. The dust cover was more expensive than the actual grinder. I can't use my wall chaser with 125mm discs because it doesn't cut deep enough for water pipes. On the other hand, this Makita contraption goes as deep as 6 cm, which is fine for the expected use. Pipes have 20mm in diameter plus 12mm for insulation. Even though there was a lot of dust, it was still much better than if there was no cover. I'm not sure if I would normally buy this cover just for this project, but I know I will use it in the future. Just for clarification, none of the tools used in this series or the material hasn't been sponsored. I purchased or rented all of them after making my own research. Write me down in the comments if you're interested about experience using some of my tools. And because I'm complete numpty, next footage will be shot on a potato. Please do enjoy. Four years ago, I went shopping in Lidl, and next to cheese and tomatoes they were selling a 50 joules jackhammer. I found it so absurd, I had to have it, even though I had no use for it at the time. It was quietly sitting at home, and now it's showtime. Look how beautifully it deals with the concrete. Also, notice how lights go out every time I press the trigger. Truly fascinating beast. And so this was a hallway. It will get some tweaks once I start installing the pipes, but this will do for now. Next, the kitchen. I've already removed and covered the furniture. I also removed the old sink. All tiles had to go. Pretty satisfying work, but pretty repetitive. And this was the end product. Behold the hole. It's probably not obvious from the footage, but all this work has been done just shy about 0 degrees, hence the snowflake. I took out water-cooled diamond core drill. Before I start chasing the wall in the kitchen, I have to have a start and the end so I can achieve a proper tilt for drain pipes. With the power of trigonometric functions, I calculated a 37 degrees angle by which I should drill. Sewage pipe knees sell in 50 degrees steps, and because of that I rounded calculated 37 degrees to 45 degrees and started drilling. If the angle would be too steep, I could accidentally bore through the outside of the house. If it was too shallow, I would hit the door, or worse, I would never get out of the wall. Most of the time, you're just drilling and drilling and drilling until you eventually run out of range of the core bit and you need an extender. The projected length of the bore was 930 mm, and we drilled with 62 mm drill bit. The sewage pipe diameter will be 50 mm. At this moment, I'm freehanding over 20 kilos worth of machinery. My wife's grandpa, who lives nearby, is an absolute legend and offered me help. It is very difficult to operate diamond core drill in one person. It leaks water everywhere, and you need someone to help you vacuum the water, especially if you freehanded it. It is absolutely vital to have a drill with a safety clutch if you don't use a stand. There are some Chinese manufacturers on the internet who sell dirt cheap diamond core drills for around $50, lacking basic safety features. This one is a bit less powerful, but it is German and it does have a safety clutch. We triggered it 2 or 3 times. If the tip bites in the material without the clutch, the drill bit suddenly gets stationary and it's the machine which starts spinning. I read reports of people getting their limbs seriously injured, so stay safe and use safety precautions. It took us around an hour to drill the hole, including time we had to figure out how to unscrew the drill bit without the right size spanner. But eventually you get through. It's fascinating what you can drill out with that thing. After test fitting pipe 1 meter long, I was very satisfied with where we ended, right in the corner. After that, I used diamond core drill with 32mm tip to drill holes for water pipes. I couldn't use the extender because it was thicker than 32mm, so when the drill bit was all in, I switched to impact drill with 30mm drill I used for poking holes in the stone for electric cables. Fun times! If you want to save money for a gym, get a stone house. Everything is at least 10 times more difficult than in a brick house. When I had my holes drilled, I used locked self-leveling laser to project a slope path for sewage pipe. I lined up the angle grinder with a cover, hooked up to a vacuum cleaner and started cutting in the wall. Then I chiseled out the material in between cuts. I found out it is easier to chisel out bricks when you make more cuts than just 2. It's a dusty job, but also you sweat a lot, so if you use a mask and glasses, either you see nothing or you cuff bricks the next day. Health and safety at its finest. Everything was fine and dandy until I hit this old pipe, which I had to cut out. Unfortunately, I had iron cutting disc only for small 125mm angle grinder, so it took a little persuasion. Ten centimeters later, I stumbled upon a vertical pipe. No idea what it was for, but it had to go. When I was done with the sewage pipe, I started chiseling out the groove for hot and cold water. I cut 2 pieces of piping insulation for test fitting, and apart from that I basically copy and pasted the process. Until I hit the iron pipe again. It was the second time, so I thought I don't have to switch on the recording. I already have interesting footage. Boy, was I wrong. The cutting disc shattered, and once again I proved myself that wearing long sleeves, eye and ear protection and gloves is not luxury, but absolute must. We end up the video here. In the next one, I will finish the piping so we can actually start tasks that are remotely connected to assembling the kitchen. If you find my work interesting, please consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss future episodes. Thank you for watching.